Sitting in a 4v3.
Everfrog Esports trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a wall. We're gonna deflect. White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh. Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. You're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. That is to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Lana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace.
All right, good evening, everybody. The midseason tournament is winding down, especially here in the Diamond tier, where we're going to be crowning a champion. It's a week 1 rematch between Solar-Eclipse and Cuddle Puddle. My name is Dextron. Joining me in the booth here tonight is Tryhard Ray. Ray, man, how are you doing here?
I'm feeling fantastic. Get to see the conclusion of the Diamond Mid-Season Grand Finals. We're the last one. There's one other Grand Finals live on CGL 1 right now, but everyone else has been concluded. So last matchup before we get into the second half of the season. And as you mentioned, it's a rematch where Solar-Eclipse got the better end of Cuddle Puddle. I believe it was 3-0 in week 1. And they even admitted in their interview that they feel like Cuddle Puddle has gotten so much better since that week 1, and they are very interested to play them again.
Yeah, Cuddle Puddle, I mean, I saw that week 1 matchup against Solar-Eclipse. They didn't look like they did in the last couple playoff games here, but like you said, they have been steadily improving. And they took down Death Blossom in a 5-game series. And you remember talking, I believe it was with Vert from Solar-Eclipse. They were really looking forward to playing one of these 2 teams. They thought it would be Death Blossom, but no, Cuddle Puddle came through in the end here. And I think they're going to be able to give us a good series tonight. But on the other side, you have Solar-Eclipse, Ray, and we talked about them last series. They are basically the people who have ruled over this tier now for the better part of almost 6 months, and it seems like no one has been able to stop them.
Yeah, so the big question is, have Cuddle Puddle learned from their woes in their week 1 defeat, or will Solar-Eclipse continue to dominate the Diamond Division like they have? And I cannot wait to see where this goes from here. For this series, this was a longer tournament. This was an 8-team bracket. So we have round 3 this time around. So the first set map will be different from all the first 2 rounds. Round 1, it was Lijiang Tower. Round 2, it was Oasis. And these are the paths that they took to get here. Both teams had taken some shinks to their armor, but they still remain undefeated. In this bracket.
Yeah, I mean, you see Solar-Eclipse path here, only dropping one map so far. That was a very close series against Lunar Eclipse, their sister team, in that semifinal up there, but they're able to get through them. Cuddle Puddle, I mean, they kind of had almost the same path here, went up against a very formidable foe in Death Blossom, and that was an exciting series to watch when that one happened. I thought it could have gone either way, but Cuddle Puddle able to pull it out there, and now have their rematch against Solar-Eclipse here in the mid-season grand finals.
As we're going to now go over the lineups for these teams for you guys, starting with Solar-Eclipse. We got Reverts, Hollander, Cloud, Lemon, It's Vert, and Xerneas. This is their classic control lineup. They like to move around their pieces a lot as the series goes on, but this is classic map 1 lineup for them.
Yeah, we saw their entire team in the semifinals. Synarchy, Anjoki, and Locos could all come in at times, and we saw Anjoki come in place of Cloud Lemon at points, and we were kind of questioning the move, but they are a formidable sub that came in, did their job, and did it pretty damn well. But on the other side, Cuddle Puddle, their opponents here tonight. You have Geo and Andoru as your DPS line, Brook as your tank, Battle Josh and Executi as your support line here, Ray. And I mean, I'm just looking at this composition here. I watched this composition in their semifinal series here. They are a very, very solid core here, but they also have some subs that can come in and really help them out.
So is this composition accurate to what they like to play as Wrecking Ball?
Sometimes. It is their favorite. It is their favorite, but with
because going back to that Lunar Eclipse matchup, the one time that Solar Eclipse looked lost was against the Wrecking Ball composition that Lunar Eclipse is playing. So maybe you got something there if you're Cuddle Puddle. But if I know anything about Solar Eclipse, even Vert talked about it in the interview, they were gonna go immediately get with their coach and VOD review and see how they can get better.
And they're going to have to get better here tonight, because that is like what we said here. Their favorite composition to run. You can only ban out the ball once, and you're probably not going to want to do it very early on in the series. But speaking of bans, we can get moving along with that. Solar-Eclipse going to have our first ban of the night here, Joker. And what do you think they go after? Do you think they immediately go after the ball to try to give themselves a little bit of an advantage here, or do you think they go after something else?
I am flattered, but I am not Joker.
Oh, crap. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. I think I don't think you want to immediately go for the Wrecking Ball. I think you definitely want to take a map and definitely feel each other out and see how the series is going to go. And one thing to keep in mind, folks, this is, even though this is the grand finals, this is just mid-season, so it is still a 1st to 3. So it's not like you have a whole lot of room to work with as we see the Juno ban coming in from Solar-Eclipse.
Yeah, and it's always Juno at this point always seems like it's immediately banned out first. No matter what either team really likes to play, no one really wants to deal with the Juno first map. And that's kind of been the case here. It was Hazard Juno. Now we're starting to see Juno being mixed up with some other tank or maybe a DPS character come in here. So Juno being banned out first, like the ban here from Solar-Eclipse, but Cuddle Puddle. I mean, it's gonna be. They have the tank ban there. They have a DPS ban. What do you think they're gonna go after?
We have seen, I honestly, I don't know what the first map is, to be completely honest with you. But we have seen, we saw the Pharah coming in for the ban. We have seen on Lijiang Tower them having a very potent Pharah that does Solar-Eclipse. So I don't think that's a very shocking ban.
No, not at all here. And I mean, these are two bans that really make a lot of sense here. And that was one of the things that, when we were talking with Solar-Eclipse, that they do really watch all the teams here and figure out what they need to ban out early on. And we watched that throughout the entirety of the semifinal game where, they were playing their sister team, so they kind of knew what they had to ban out throughout the entire series, but they still did struggle from time to time, even with making the correct bans.
As here we go, folks. Solar-Eclipse, Cuddle Puddle. Who is going to take the mid-season championship, and they get a match win in their favor. Loser, I think, gets a couple map points in their favor. I forget exactly what the tally is for the loser, but you still get something out of this, but both definitely want to make a statement here and get that extra map win in your favor, or match win.
Absolutely. Here you see the lineups yet again here. I mean, this is gonna be a really, really fun series to watch. don't remember still what the first map was either here, right? So when we see it, it's gonna it's gonna be Ilios here to start us off. And I mean, looks like we're starting on ruins. This is the long sightline map. You could see some a decent amount of hit scan play come out here, even the odd Widowmaker here and there. But I mean, do you normally or do you expect that from the teams very early on in this series?
That's especially with Pharah no longer on the table. I mean, even like in the trailer for the perks, they're playing Pharah on this map specifically. I do think, it's still open. Yeah, I expected with no Pharah that Echo would still be a very suitable, very viable pick from either of these teams. And we see Hollander highlighting that right now. As Reverts, tends to be that Sojourn, can play the Tracer. And we see Hollander now gonna highlight the Tracer. But for Cuddle Puddle, they know they're locked in. They're going that Winston speed composition. They're going full in on the dive with the Genji Tracer.
I mean, it's almost a mirror match across the board here. It's only a difference in the DPS characters, which is kind of what I really expected here. I mean, we talked about Cloud9 being a very good Winston last series. Didn't see it a lot, but still, they are very, very scary on the monkey here. But you see Brook try and dive into that backline. Cloud9 immediately has to peel back out, just try to take off a lot of that damage. But you just see the play coming out there from Brook, trying to get further and further into that backline. And they're going to be able to find Xerneas here early. Will be traded out onto the other side there. But Cuddle it burns. I mean, he got their entire team in the plate.
That was not clear that is going to revert. That's going to open things up to the side. I'm just going to clean up. Huge picks. That is me.
Soothing your wounds.
I think that may start. So I'm gonna keep going. Let me just high ground, but man, right? Hitting Trace Tool win as Enderatu is going to clean house, send Solar-Eclipse, and just when they were starting to get some momentum back to the spawn room you go, they're already very even going back in forth.
I think we're back now. I mean, good back and forth fights here very in this series. Back in control now. So
pulse available for you. So and comes out with the overclock 5.4
to be able to find one here early on. Overclock goes like be able to them just and you're executing up the especially but get a so first one on the game. Could be the next one ball. Back and forth. And this should be a 4-4.
As point flip comes in for the side of Solar-Eclipse. Very impressive. They did it with not a whole lot of ult commitment. So you got both the support ultimates out of Cuddle Puddle, and now you can re-engage with 2 support ultimates of your own, and Cloud11's going to have the ability to, sustain themselves with that primal rage. So this beat's got to be ready for this blade coming in from EO.
Considering Rush now coming out here from Xerneas, trying to get Solar-Eclipse into this fight a little early on here. The blade now out from Geo, but it's going to be Cloud11 finding the first pick here. Beat out from Burt right there, trying to keep their team alive through this blade. Going to be able to do that Primal Rage now out from Brook, trying to jump whoever they can. Xerneas is going to be the target, and they're going to be able to find them right there. So a trade for a trade right there, but Solar-Eclipse still holding on to the point at the moment. Burt's going off the map, not necessarily what you want to see. No supports now on the side of Solar-Eclipse, but they're still coming out with a couple of picks here. Revert's gonna be able to find one. Hollander gonna be the next one to follow, so still going back and forth. And right now, Solar-Eclipse, you're just trying to solve this point as long as you can. You've definitely lost this fight with that big mistake there from Burt.
Yeah, as the Primal's now gonna pop to stall even longer and allow for some of these players to come back for Solar-Eclipse. Pulse Bomb's gonna be available for Hollander as well.
Cloud Lemon pops the Primal Rage here. No point flip just yet, but now the Disrupting Shot can be able to find one out right there, and this looks like it's just a cleanup job right now for Solar-Eclipse. All they have to do is get rid of Brook and Geo, who are just trying to stall this as long as they can. But with Brook and Geo falling right there, there's going to be no more touches, and Solar-Eclipse going to be able to take our first point of the night.
Great opening gambit from both of these teams. I mean, what it came down to is Solar-Eclipse's ability to just stall, and even in a losing fight, you know, be able to pop that Primal Rage as Cloud Lemon did, really showing why he was the MVP last season, holding that point down, allowing their players to get back, and allowing Reverts to do Reverts things and find those railgun shot pickoffs on that Sojourn.
Yeah, they desperately needed them there. But Cuddle Puddle, I mean, they had a couple back and forth fights there very early on, but I mean, they just couldn't get that late point flip there, and Solar-Eclipse just took advantage of it. No big swaps coming out from either side, which is something I'm kind of surprised by.
Round 2. Capture the objective.
I don't think I mean, that first map was pretty dang close. I don't think it's absolutely necessary to need to swap anything up. Just, some, isolation that Solar-Eclipse is able to find. Make sure you stay together a lot more and don't get isolated.
Dive there from Cloud Lemon. Hondo gonna be able to find executing. That's not who you want to see fall first here. If you're Cuddle Puddle, Battle Josh next one to fall. Yeah, you are definitely trying to get out of this fight as fast as you can right now. If you're Cuddle Puddle, no supports around. It looks like it's already just a cleanup job as Solar-Eclipse gonna basically pick off right where they left off from that first point.
And that's, just Solar-Eclipse being this whole roster that they've been for as long as they have. They have so much chemistry, so much continuity together that they can just easily pick things up and really get things going. And that was a great example of that. As now Cuddle Puddle looking to push back. Not a lot of ult charge at all. They got to find an early pick.
The dive there on the Vert, not going to be able to find them right there as they're able to roll away, but again, it's going to be executing, falling first here again for the second straight fight. That's your main support out right now, and Battle Josh not looking like they're going to be in this fight much longer. Cloud Lemon, though, will be traded out there, but how much damage can Cuddle Puddle do? Well, it's not going to be much here, as you see Brook and Geo both fall, and Andoru being the only one to run away.
Again, just an unfortunate set of circumstances. One thing you cannot allow to continuously happen time and time again is losing your Kiriko first in all these fights. I don't know if it's that they need to protect executing more, if they're leaving themselves more exposed, but you can't let that happen if you're Cuddle Puddle.
You cannot, and the fact that it's happened 2 straight fights is just not good. You already see Cloud in there jumping onto that backline executing. They're going to use that swift step to get out from danger here, but look at how Solar-Eclipse is playing this. They're kind of just rotating around the point, and finally Cuddle Puddle finds that early engagement or early pick they're looking for there onto Hollander. Reverse taken out, but again, executing can be the first one taken out for Cuddle Puddle. Cloud Lemon going to be able to find another one right there onto Battle Josh, but somehow the boop going to be able to send Cloud Lemon down the well, so Cuddle Puddle should be able to take the point for the first time here.
82% that you were able to gain if you're Solar-Eclipse. And the best thing about that entire fight, Dex, was no ult commitment from Cuddle Puddle. They were able to win that whole fight just in the neutral, and you got out the Primal Rage from Cloud Lemon. So now you get to re-engage. You basically flip the ult economy on this map on its head.
And right now, the Pulse Bomb ready here for Hollander. Wants to try to get rid of Executed here before they use it so that Suzu will not stop it out here. Andoru, though, going to throw out their own Pulse Bomb, find one. Hollander's Pulse Bomb, not going to find anyone with that. Primal Rage from Brook immediately finds Reverts, and this is exactly what Cuddle Puddle was looking for in this engagement. A solid fight win early on. Yeah, Cloud Lemon finds Executed, but it's going to be immediately traded right back out there. And this is, like I said, Ray, exactly what Cuddle Puddle wanted.
And it wasn't a super expensive fight either. It was Pulse and Primal, which are, 2 ults. It's not like you committed like a rally in a orbital ray or something like that. So you're gonna be in a good spot there. But they did get Battle Josh there late, so there's an opportunity for Solar-Eclipse to re-engage here with no UCO.
Engagement coming back out, continuing rushes out from both sides. Blade out from the side of Cuddle Puddle. Gonna be able to find Xerneas here, but Reverts pops their overclock and already find the value they needed. 2 out, being forced out by Battle Josh to keep the team alive in this one. Battle Josh gonna be able to find Reverts, but Cloud Lemon, that pestering damage from that Tesla gun, gonna be able to find them right back. And now you see Geo just trying to run for their life, but Cloud Lemon just has a beat on them right there. Still have been able to flip over the point, but Hollander finds Brook and Geo. Yeah, you put up a hell of a fight there, but you're eventually gonna lose out and not even gonna be able to take the lead.
able to even out the percentage here. But the thing I'm worried about is they pretty much threw everything they had to that fight. So now they're facing a Primal and they don't really have anything. And Doryu might be able to get a Pulse Bomb, but that's about it.
Battle Josh gonna be able to barely stay alive right there. A great play by them to keep themselves alive, but Geo now looking worse for it. Brook, though, will be able to find the first pick here. Hollander, another Pulse Bomb ready to go here, looking for whoever they can get it stuck onto, but struggling to find a target. Now you lose Andor. There's the stick you're looking for onto Battle Josh. Geo, though, will be able to take him right out, but it might be a little bit too late here. Brook falling, Geo's gonna have to put up a hell of a fight on their own, but the Tesla gun does not care about your deflect, and Cloud Lemon will clean up the final kill here for a team kill and give Solar-Eclipse our first map of the night.
All things considered, though, that was a pretty intense, pretty close first map for Cuddle Puddle. Both points got to a minimum of 99 to at least 70, so you have that going for you where it's not like you just went in there and got absolutely smoked and rolled, right? Like, you have an opportunity where if you are Cuddle Puddle, I mean, you just need to clean up a few things here or there. You know, in these neutral fights, just don't allow, like, even in fights they were losing or where they won, right? There was the re-engage that they made. They still lost Executey first, and you were like, oh, not a big deal, you know. They're gonna get back, and you've been getting trades anyway. But that's still a worrying trend for me for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and especially because you know how good the Solar-Eclipse team is. They're really good at calling out where they want to go first, their rotations. We saw a lot there on that second point of well, but always being able to find Executey out first. I believe it was 3 or 4 straight fights that we saw that Executey was the first member of Cuddle Puddle to die in some of those engagements. Yeah, Cuddle Puddle still won, I believe, the last 2 of them, but still, you do not want to be losing out that Kiriko very early on.
As now, Cuddle Puddle will get to pick completely the map type, the map we go to. The power is in their hands to take them to a map where they feel most confident. So that's where things get exciting in these grand finals match. I mean, in these mid-season playoffs in general too, where it's not like, oh, you have to go to hybrid, but you get to pick the map. It goes, no, you can take us wherever you want. You want to take us to Flashpoint? Go ahead. You want to take us to Push? All right, your choice. Escort? Sure, you just go play some dive. But in this to me is where we start to see, at least for Cuddle Puddle's sake, like what they feel their strongest at will be determined by what map we go to, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember, they told us they like to play ball here, or at least their team sheet does. So maybe a game mode and map that kind of leans a little bit more towards a wrecking ball play style. Yeah, it's still dive, so you're going to be seeing a lot of the same here. But it's going to be really interesting to look at where Cuddle Puddle wants to bring us with our second map. And then I could see something maybe like a Dorado potentially coming out, but it's up to them here.
As we'll be finding out shortly. Plus, we have bans coming in. And that's going to be the big question because of the way Solar-Eclipse also runs their roster. Depending on the map and the bans, they could completely put in a whole new set of people. So you never know exactly what to expect. So Cuddle Puddle's got to be ready for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about the fact that Solar-Eclipse, they have those 3 subs on the bench. They can all come in and do an incredible job. I mean, we saw Anjoki come in and play that Winston where we were kind of questioning it because Cloud Lemon won MVP last season playing majority of the Winston, but Anjoki came in and did absolutely incredible on it here. So a very, very deep team, very scary to go up to no matter what the meta and mode will be.
Bear with us, folks. We are still waiting for all the picks to come in from these teams. Keep in mind, there is also another match still going on CGL 1. That is the NA Open Grand Finals to go along with this one at the same time.
No, I think that one wrapped up. I think that one.
Oh, did that one officially wrap up finally?
Yeah, I think Agave won 3-0.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like it is wrapped up. They're just interviews and wrapping up. Okay. So hopefully we'll be getting an influx of a raid of people coming in chat. You have more people to interact with in the chat, people.
Yeah, make sure if we're doing bets here, or if we're doing predictions, make sure you get those predictions. And make sure you connect your account here to the CGL website so you can start getting those CGL tokens and forcing Headrammer to maybe buy you some Overwatch coins.
Yeah, Overwatch coins, or maybe you can get artists to do one of your logos for your team. got some interesting stuff you can get with those CGL tokens, so make sure you go and do that. As we mentioned, CGL 1's going to be wrapping up here, so quick overview of how that first map went for any new people who may be coming in anytime soon. Solar-Eclipse, very convincing first map, but it wasn't a total blowout. Most of the points went 100 to about 70. They ran the Winston dive composition, looked very, very competent, and they were really capitalizing on being able to pick off the support, the flex support of Cuddle Puddle time and time again.
Yeah, and that was what really led to basically Solar-Eclipse kind of winning that map handily. It always seemed like Solar-Eclipse was really focusing on that support line right there, and you saw it a little bit of back and forth there on that first point of the two tanks kind of diving the back line and having the other one immediately come back into peel, and a lot of the time that left that support line for Cuddle Puddle wide open for Solar-Eclipse to just punish, and that's exactly what they did there. But Ray, we can stop just yapping here and we can finally tell you everyone what our second map of the night will be. Cuddle Puddle has decided to bring us to the flashpoint map of Suravasa here, and I mean, they like playing ball, but this isn't necessarily a map where you see a lot of wrecking ball played. You can play it, but you don't see it a lot.
Which makes things very interesting because there's, you tend to think of like very brawlish type compositions, Junker Queens, Maugas, Ramatras, Zaryas, that kind of stuff on this map. In some situations we've also seen Hazard get played pretty well, but I'm excited to see, if this is where the trip Cuddle Puddle wants to take us on. It's where we're going to be more on a brawl it out style.
Hey, I'm always down to see teams brawl it out here, but I mean, let's get moving on to the bans now. Cuddle Puddle gonna have our first ban here on map 2, and I mean, Ray, we have seen a decent amount of Winston played here on this map in the past and in OWCS. Do you think we could see a Winston ban come out from Cuddle Puddle?
I don't think it's super likely. I think Winston's a very important ban if you're like worried about playing against it when we get into like Escort or Hybrid. I wouldn't waste it on a map like Suravasa. That's one of the ones I would hold on to, definitely.
Do you think they go after a DPS character, maybe something like the Soj that we saw Cuddle Puddle find a lot of success on in there in that first map?
It's definitely possible. We do have Cuddle Puddle banning first, and wow, Juno getting banned again. So this is the last map we won't see Juno. Like every map after this, we can see Juno because both teams have now officially banned Juno.
It's rare that you see a character we ban back-to-back here in CGL. I feel like a lot of the times the teams kind of forget that you can ban out the same hero twice, or at least once per team, because you never normally see a hero be banned out twice. But I do like the ban here again. Juno's still incredibly strong on this map. Orbital Ray is just going to do a lot of damage. But Solar-Eclipse now, what do you think they go after here?
I'm not exactly sure. Maybe you do like a DPS ban possibly, where you look to get rid of they're just going to ban Mauga, so they don't even want to have to deal with those type of compositions. I mean, I think it's smart. If you're not really a Mauga team, this is a very strong map for the Mauga, so just taking that off the board, especially when you're in a 1-3 series, getting up 2-0 is going to be very pivotal, so I do not blame them for using this Mauga ban quickly, because we were talking about beforehand how Nightmare saved their Mauga ban for the most important final map, but in this situation, getting that 2-0 lead I think is a big deal, and using this now is wise.
Yeah, absolutely. That Nightmare and Liquid series was very, very fun to watch, very back and forth. I loved seeing Nightmare win that one there. But we have some subs coming back in, and I mean, Ray, we have seen this in the past. Anjoki coming in, Synarchy coming in. We know exactly how these two are gonna play, but are we gonna see Anjoki on the Winston? Remember, like they said, Anjoki is a very, very good Winston player.
Yeah, that is definitely what they are most known for. And Synarchy, big time on a player, as we see them got some incredible nades and sleeps in the past. So, that's what you definitely think of. The question is, are they going to look to play it on a map like Suravasa? You talked about how we've seen success from it. Will Solar-Eclipse find that success?
They have to try to here, but I mean, again, we've talked about how good the Solar-Eclipse team is, basically running and owning this tier now for going on upwards of 6 months. I mean, they were last season's grand champions, they were the GOATS grand champions, in the winter or in early January, and now they're trying to become the mid-season grand champions here. I mean, it's their, we kind of talked about towards the end of last series we had them with. It's kind of their tier to run right now, and someone has to kind of take it away from here. But I like what we're seeing from Cuddle Puddle coming out of the gate.
Yeah, they are looking to do exactly what we thought. They want to full on brawl it out. They're going with Ramatra with the Mei. So complete isolation onto the enemy tank is what they're hoping to do, and really follow it up with like some big nades from Executing. Solar-Eclipse, they're just kind of sticking to their guns, but they're going to go double flex support on this end with the Winston. No Brig, which is a little surprising. They're going to go with Anakiri.
I mean, the Brig doesn't necessarily shock me here. You might see someone swap off it. Battle Josh, though, I mean, they were hovering over the Kiriko there for the moment coming out of the spawn, but they immediately go back over to the Lucio. I like that a little bit better here for them.
And again, it's for these Anas, they're going to need really good angles to hit big-time nades. A lot of pressure is being thrown onto Brook.
And Cuddle Puddle going to be able to get the point cap here first. Solar-Eclipse not even really kind of engaging onto it there at all. It's more like they want Cuddle Puddle to come to them first, but there you go, Hollander in that backline. They're going to hit with that anti-nade right there. Immediately have to use the deflect, but there you see Solar-Eclipse come in, but it will be Revert's first one to fall here. Solar-Eclipse, though, does get the point flip, and they also get rid of Battle Josh here.
Getting rid of how picks are going back and forth. 3 picks for the side of Endoryu on this Mei. Just when you thought Solar-Eclipse was going to hold on to this point, no, says the Mei.
And look, Mei already has that Blizzard ready to go here, Ray.
That is ridiculous. That's one of the slower charging ultimates in the game because it's such a big time one. And just look at Solar-Eclipse, they're like nowhere near anything. Cuddle Puddle is very firmly in the driver's seat to cap this point. They get a good Blizzard here, this point's theirs.
Well, the Blizzard is out, and look where it is. It's actually it's thrown deep into that backline, but it's going to be Andorra finding another pick here early on. Reverts, they're going to be able to trade out Brook, and this is exactly what Solar-Eclipse was looking for. Yeah, you lose Anarchy, but you get rid of that Ramatra on the other side, and it's just like a house of cards. Everyone starts falling once you get rid of the base.
Yeah, once the tank is down in this 5v5 mode that we are currently in for Overwatch, there's not a whole lot you're going to be able to get done unless your DPS pop off and finish everyone off quickly. Wasn't able to do that, so Solar-Eclipse able to clean up. And now they're in a really stronghold position. They're able to win that without using any of their ults. They, as you mentioned, the Blizzard commit was in that fight. So now they got all 5 of their check marks to work with to really continue holding this point.
Well, speaking of check marks, already 2 coming out right here. The beat going to be the response to that overclock, but it's not going to be able to save Executing. Hondo will be traded out now. Revert's using that slide to get away from Brook. Andorra, though, finding 2 again. This Mei has been the standout so far for this map for Cuddle Puddle, but they now are back in control of the map. Kitsune Rush and Nano out on here on the Anjoki. They're just trying to clean up now, take this point back. Brook looking a little bit worse for wear here, and Anjoki going to be able to find 2, make it 3 right there as the Winston for Solar-Eclipse cleans up the fight and retakes the point.
I mean, because of the point flip that Cuddle Puddle was able to get, they're going to have a chance to retouch here. I mean, Geo's just now respawning, so it's not going to be a full 5v5. So the big question is, do you try to touch him with Cuddle Puddle?
They're going to try, but Hollander definitely tried to pop their blade in the backline, but Andorra doesn't
touch!
matter. Oh, no, the touch! No, they didn't get it. They were right there as well, and they got rid of the...
They were up in that fight. That's a C9.
That's a C9. In our grand final, in our mid-season grand finals. Yeah, that's the exact reaction I just did as well.
Look at Garfield over there, man. He's having a rough day.
Yeah, every day's a Monday for Garfield here.
Cuddle Puddle, lots to engage with here. I like the positioning Brook is taking, but he is taking a lot of damage.
But, I mean, you're hoping that Executing will be able to support him up here, and they're going to be able to do that here now, but Hollander going to be able to get rid of Executing, and we're going right back to what happened on the first map. Executing being the first one to fall. Yeah, you're going to be able to trade out Xerneas. The Annihilation coming out, actually going to be able to get Sinarchy as well, so Solar-Eclipse, they really just have to kind of back out of this one here, and if you're in Joki, you took control of the point where that's the only reason you kind of stayed around as long as you did.
Yeah, I mean, you're still a good 23%, so you'll take that if you're Solar Eclipse. You got out the Annihilation, so you're not going to have to deal with that anymore. But you are going to have to deal with every single other ult that Cuddle Puddle has at their disposal. So I feel like if you're Solar Eclipse, try and dry fight this as much as you can. And if you get like an early pick off, then that's where you look to commit. But you're trying to mostly force ults out of Cuddle Puddle.
And I mean, we know Andoru is not afraid to go very aggressive here with their own Blizzard. Battle Josh getting very low right there, but you see that double support there. Ultimate's ready for Cuddle Puddle. Sleep being thrown out here on the Joki. There's the beat, there's the Nano, and there's the Blizzard as well. Cuddle Puddle dumping everything into this fight, but so far all they have to say for it is just a trade. Now they're losing in this fight. They invested 3 ultimates and only were able to find 1 kill off it. Ultimate number 4 is out on the field. Geo will be able to find Xerneas there, but Hollander finds them right back. Ray, I mean, with investing 4 ultimates into a fight, you should be looking at a definite easy fight win, but no, they find nothing here. They're going to end up losing this one.
That's absolutely devastating, and literally the only ult that was used in that fight from Solar Eclipse was the Primal Rage. Those are fights you just can't let happen in that way, Dex. Oh, so devastating. And now really the only thing you have to worry about for the rest of this second point is an Annihilation from Cuddle Puddle. They're not going to be able to build up to anything else, and you have so much at your disposal. Just when you thought Cuddle Puddle was in the driver's seat, in comes Solar Eclipse.
Nano Blade is out. Everyone running for their lives, but some cannot run fast enough. Hollander already ending the fight right there. There's kill number 4. The only one that's left alive is Battle Josh, and they rode themselves out of that fight as fast as they could.
That last crack at it for both of these teams on the second point. We got Annihilation going up against Kitsune Rush plus Overclock. Reverse has been so good with the Overclock. You feel like advantage, Solar Eclipse.
Kitsune Rush and Overclock out. Already one right there. Brooke gonna try to get back to the point, but no. You are denied at the door. Andoru will find one, but they're gonna be the only one that finds anything that fight. And Solar Eclipse. Ah, man, what could have been for Cuddle Puddle right there. Solar Eclipse capitalized on the mistakes of that 4 ult investment fight there loss for Cuddle Puddle.
As we see, there was a swap there for a second. They thought about going to the Prig, but they're going to go back over to the Lucio. Feels like, you know, when you're playing the Ramatra, the utility of having that speed sometimes is just too much. As Cuddle Puddle is able to get to the point first and set up, though.
And they do have Annihilation, and they're coming up to another Blizzard here, so they should be able to get the first point cap here. It just really depends on how much investment there is from Solar Eclipse here. But hey, they find Executi out here early on, but Andoru, the only, one of the biggest players for this Cuddle Puddle team so far, they've been able to find picks almost every engagement, but they don't find the first point cap. Solar Eclipse going to be able to get a little bit of percentage here, but they should lose out in the end. Cuddle Puddle should just be able to clean up.
As again, it's going to be very similar to the last point. They're going to steal a good 15-20%, and then Cuddle Puddle will take the point back. And then it's feeling like deja vu all over again. Cuddle Puddle's in a good spot. They got a lot of ults at their disposal. They just can't have another disastrous 4 ult versus 1 dump and lose. Like, you can't let that happen twice in a row. But this Blizzard should go well, especially on this point where it's a lot more close quarters and a lot less room to maneuver.
Yeah, but we've seen Solar Eclipse be able to just maneuver out of both the Blizzards we've seen so far. I don't think we've seen one person frozen up from either of them at the moment. There's the dive in from Anjoki in that back line, going to force a little bit of a split here, and look what happens there. They catch Battle Josh out. There's the Blizzard, there's the Annihilation. Brooke will be able to find one with it, and finally looks like we're going to be able to get a freezer on the Synarchy. Reverts will find one, but that's going to be the only thing that really Solar Eclipse gets this fight. Anjoki, though, actually keeping this fight alive at the moment. Brooke, a little bit worse for wear here. The Primal Rage coming out from Anjoki. I might have spoken a little bit too soon. Solar Eclipse still very much into this fight as that Nemesis form goes away, the hands, and now the Tesla gun going to be able to clean up there. And Solar Eclipse, all they have to do is get rid of Battle Josh, and the point is theirs.
Wow, again, just when you think the point is going to go in the way of Cuddle Puddle, Solar Eclipse is able to clutch up and make things happen, and that was only with the use of the Primal. So now they're going to have... It's very similar. They use their Annihilation and Blizzard this time in exchange for Primal, and Solar Eclipse in the end is able to win out the fight.
But the ante on the Anjoki is going to be huge. The Nano being invested onto Brooke is just going to be the icing on the cake here. Cuddle Puddle looks like they should be able to retake the point, and I don't think we're going to see a touch here from Solar Eclipse. I don't really think it's necessary.
No, you look to back out there. You take your 4 ults that you have and you look to just go to the next point and move on. I mean, the only thing, you also got, considering, Enjoki kind of got too big for his britches and got slept and anti-nated, you still force him to use the nano. So you took one more tool out of their disposal as we head over to Gardens for the 4th point.
Yeah, but I mean, Solar-Eclipse, like you kind of said, they have all these ultimates now because they pretty much lost out that last fight pretty early on here. So you can see a barrage of ultimates come out here. But speaking of ultimates, here comes the overclock from Geo. Going to be able to find one right there onto Reverb, but the nano is out here onto Sinarchy as they try to clean up Geo. But oh, the ice wall from their own teammate going to deny them the shields from that beat coming out from Battle Josh here. The point is open, but it looks like the fight already being kind of cleaned up here by Solar-Eclipse. Brook will be able to find one more here, but how long can Battle Josh keep Brook up here on this point?
Yeah, Nano Blade was all it took for Solar-Eclipse. Yeah, Battle Josh goes down. Down goes Brook. Point flips for the side of Solar-Eclipse. And you were still able to hold on to the Kitsune Rush and the overclock. And in the meantime, Enjoki, who had just used the Primal just recently on that last point, already has another one built up. That just shows you the amount of work Enjoki has been putting in on this Winston.
And remember, last series we talked about how good of a Winston Cloud Lemon is, and then Enjoki, I mean, they had a great showing on Winston, and they're showing us again right now why they are an incredible Winston. But Reverge pops, the overclock finds 2. There's the Primal Rage. Battle Josh is trying to run away, but Enjoki, they're looking for blood here. They're going to deny the entry into the spawn door right there and find Battle Josh.
What a great Primal, what great juggling. One thing you have to worry about is, once again, you're now going to be able to re-engage. Cuddle Puddle has the Annihilation and the Blizzard, but Xerneas has the Kitsune Rush. They can lay down. Cuddle Puddle has to win this next fight, or it is victory for Solar-Eclipse.
You have 2 ultimates right now. If you're Cuddle Puddle, you're going to basically have to invest them here early on. You lose Executed, but now you're going to be able to trade out Sinarchy on the other side. Kitsune Rush out there. Blizzard out as well. Should be able to buy them a little bit of space here on point. They're going to be able to get the flip here, but is there going to be a follow-up here from Cuddle Puddle? They need to find one badly, as neither of those 2 ultimates really actually found anyone out. Solar-Eclipse, though, yeah, you're going to lose 2 characters in one punch right there. You're just falling back there. Cuddle Puddle has a chance here again.
Big time re-engage. Cost you both of your ults, but you needed that. You still saved your sound barrier, so you're going to have a defensive capability to deal with this incoming blade from Hollander. But again, it feels like Solar-Eclipse has been able to find picks without ult commitment. They're just able to find one in the neutral. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for from Cuddle Puddle. Finding ults like that without using, finding picks without using ults.
And we talked about it. Endoru has just been someone for this Cuddle Puddle team, this entire map, that has helped them out immensely. That first pick right there forces Solar-Eclipse to completely fall back. But the dive in, oh my goodness, the disrupting shot stuck onto, I believe, Battle Josh right there is going to clean up executing Battle Josh. Reverge comes right back in, and Cuddle Puddle, looking like they were in a great spot, immediately loses out with a team kill, and Ray, they're not going to get it back in time.
Reverts coming through clutch with the disruptor shot, getting Executing out early. Once again, I said it was a troubling trend, and it is what is going to cost them the second map as Solar-Eclipse goes up 2-0.
And I mean, again, it's back and forth between these 2 teams, but the plays coming out here, this time from that TPS line for Solar-Eclipse, was the difference on this map. And Doru for Cuddle Puddle really did a lot here to help their team out, get them fights that they should not have won. They got point caps because of them there. They just weren't able to come out on top where it was necessary. But Ray, this is still a series that I feel like has a couple more maps in it.
I think it does. I think Cuddle Puddle's starting to make some good adjustments. They were able to take one of the points off there, so it wasn't a complete roll either. And a lot of those points were so back and forth. I mean, again, I just look back to that 4 ult versus 1. They could have had that point on Palace. They just didn't work out in their favor. For us, though, we are going to take a quick break. Solar-Eclipse up 2-0, hoping to make this a quick, easy mid-season championship with the next map, but Cuddle Puddle hoping to take out that blade and slice back and come back on a reverse sweep. We'll be right back.
Got lots of love. Love. 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 Got lots of love. Love.
All right, welcome back, everyone, from that halftime break right there. Solar-Eclipse up 2-0 in this series, but Cuddle Puddle, they have been able to show us some stuff from time to time. They need to put a whole map together to keep this series alive for them here, Ray, and they only have one more map to really do that here. They lose, it's over, but hey, they're going to bring us to Esperanza.
Which to me is going to be, a very interesting gambit. Winston going to be very strong on this map, but we've also seen Mauga be pretty strong, but the Mauga ban already came in last map, so we could still see Mauga. But those are the two main compositions I think of when I think of this map. I think of Mauga, Winston, and Hazard are the main three I think of when I think of Esperanza at this point. So I think for this map, I think the bans are going to be pretty important, as Cuddle Puddle has to win in a reverse sweep fashion.
And I really think if you're Cuddle Puddle at this point, you have to ban out a tank. Ban out something like the Winston, because that's what we've mostly been seeing them play throughout this entire series. Force them to play something else here. You really have to try to slow down that tank for the side of a Solar-Eclipse, because if you leave that tank to their own will, you've seen what has happened so far this series. They're kind of always there, always just being a nuisance.
So now we'll go ahead and move on and see what our bans are looking like for this first map. And we got Lucio coming out from Solar-Eclipse, and Cuddle Puddle is banning Sojourn. I mean, you talked about them needing to ban a tank, but they said, sorry, Reverts, you're going to have to play something else.
And hey, I mean, this is also a good ban here. I still think the tank might have been a little bit more of a problem, but we've seen what Reverse has been able to do on this Sojourn the entire series here. So not a bad ban in my opinion. I just feel like it could have been better. On the other side, Solar-Eclipse banning out the Lucio. Yeah, I could see why they're doing this ban. We haven't really seen them play a lot of Lucio here. It's always kind of been that Anakiri. The other side, they wanted to play that Lucio though, so get rid of the Lucio on that side, force them to play something like what you're playing here, and you kind of know what to expect.
I mean, to me, depending on the teams, but with no Lucio, you either expect like Winston, because normally you want that Lucio, right? So it's like, to me, like this spells more of Winston with like Brig Ana, or maybe you play like Kiri Brig. We've seen Kiri Brig with the Mauga too, so or not Kiri Brig, I mean Juno Brig. I'm sorry, and it's the first map where Juno's going to be available, so that's a possibility.
Yeah. And we have 2 subs coming in. It's Vert coming in for Xerneas for the first time tonight. And on the other side, Chris going to be coming in here for Battle Josh on the support line here. And Battle Josh has normally been that Lucio for Cuddle Puddle. So you might be seeing a very situational sub out here from Cuddle Puddle.
To me, that tells me, either Joshua can't play the Brig or they are looking to play double flex support with whatever they're going to go with. I mean, we know it's the Lucio Brig player for the side of Solar-Eclipse, so that's, what we should be expecting. So it wouldn't surprise me if we get on a Brig with Winston on this next map, but it's all going to come down to this for Cuddle Puddle. Midseason championship hopes on the line as we load into the map.
Yeah, and they need this map desperately here. I mean, they've had, like I said, they've had their opportunities every map. We go back to the 4 ultimate fight they had on the second point of Surabasa, where they should have won but ended up losing that, and they were just never able to really come back from it. And I mean, coming out the gate here, Ray, there's the Juno. It's been banned 2 straight maps, but it is there for Cuddle Puddle. And you talked about seeing this composition here for Solar-Eclipse, and there's the Winston that we were expecting to see it with.
Yeah, the Mauga with Juno Ana is going to be very interesting. The one thing you have to worry about is the Juno Ana extremely vulnerable. So they got to be ready to protect from Anjoki on this Winston, who's just been so good.
And right now, I mean, you have reverts on this Pharah here, but other than maybe Brook or Executi looking up at them, like, they really have no pressure out from the other side. And you really don't want your Ana looking up at the sky to deal with the Pharah here. And I just love how Reverse is playing this here. Far back, just trying to pester out that backline. Solar-Eclipse is okay with Cuddle Puddle slowly taking the card here. Nice anti-nade out there on the Brook. Gonna force him to run back here for a moment. And now you see the first true engagement happening.
Yeah, this Winston's going to have a hard time with this Mauga. You don't want to be face tanking and playing a frontline battle with the Mauga. Winston, you got to get in the back line if you're Anjoki and get some of these squishier targets.
Brook hit with another anti-nade right there, but immediately healed back up, almost taken out. Each of these teams, they're not trying to play too aggressively here. They want to find out that first pick before anyone goes in. Now here comes the aggression out from Brook on that high line, or high group here. But it's going to be actually Brook finding out Anjoki very early on, and that should give Cuddle Puddle a huge advantage here, as you already see Solar-Eclipse just completely backing out.
Yeah, if you're Solar-Eclipse, I would just back up. Don't feed any more ult charge. Let them. And the thing is, they're also playing Reaper, which is very unconventional with the Mauga. So they're really just trying to say, Anjoki, look, we got a Mauga, we got a Reaper. Look, you probably gonna have to swap off the Winston because it's gonna be tough sledding, my friend.
No, they're not going to swap off it just yet. They're going to try to make it work here for probably 1 or 2 more fights. Nope, misspoke. It seems like they kind of contemplated that swap there for a moment. Yeah, they're just going to go almost to a straight mirror. Now, only the DPS line not going to be the same.
As already having to give up the first cap extremely early. That's not what you like to see, but they made some adjustments to see what they can do here as Reverse is on the Pharah as well.
Yeah, but now you see come back out on a Mauga of their own here, just trying to just melt down Brook here at the moment. They're struggling to do that right there, especially with Brook having both their supports right behind them, keeping them alive. They also have that Nano ready to go here, but it's going to be Reaver finding Chris out early on. There's a Nano throw out onto Brooks, who's just trying to build some space, but that barrage going directly onto them, going to be able to find them out right there. Kills being traded back and forth here, but you eventually see Sin and Hollander take control of this fight. Solar-Eclipse going to be able to finally take control of the bot here, but they're going to have to just reset the spawns here, get everything started.
Yeah, reverts on this Pharah is pretty much going to be uninhibited. There's no, like, I mean, really only the Juno can really sit there and shoot at them, you know, logically with the hit scan. I mean, you can with the Mauga, but you want to make sure you're focusing a lot of your attention on the front line if you're the Mauga. So reverts is just going to be freeing these guys to just free fire, so you're going to have to be very weary of that if you are Cuddle Puddle.
I mean, no Nano now for Cuddle Puddle, so they can't play as aggressive, but they do have this Orbital Ray, which Solar-Eclipse is still a decent amount away from here, so you could pop that here pretty early on, just try to build a little bit more space, but just look at Brook focusing in on Anjoki. The Death Blossom out from Andoru, gonna be able to find two right there. This fight already done and dusted. Solar-Eclipse yet again on the back foot.
Yeah, the Death Cage is such a potent ultimate because you can just trap someone in there and they're just dead. Nothing you can really do about that. Just go back and try again. And they hill on to a lot of their important ultimates, so you're still going to have the Orbital Ray, the Cuddle Puddle, while Solar-Eclipse is still, after swapping their combos and building up to some of these key ults.
Cage now ready for Anjoki here, but there's still a lot on the other side that Cuddle Puddle can do to disrupt it. Solar-Eclipse are looking just for an opportunity here, trying to find an early pick, which is something they have really struggled to do so far this map. That's something they were doing incredibly well the first two maps here. Orbital Ray out here from Chris, and look, Solar-Eclipse just peeling right back out, but now everything coming out from Solar-Eclipse. There's the rally, there's the cage. Geo just kind of slashing, trying to find anyone they can, but they're going to be stunned and whipped out to death right there. Solar-Eclipse looking like they want to clean up this fight here, and they're going to be able to do exactly that. Cuddle Puddle, though, I mean, they have a huge lead. Solar-Eclipse, over 100 meters they have to make up here.
Yeah, that's a massive lead that you've been able to gain if you're Cuddle Puddle. So if you are the side of a Solar-Eclipse, you have to win this next fight. I mean, it's going to be in the mid ground because of the forward spawns. You got to start getting some positive distance in your favor.
I mean, but one thing that Solar-Eclipse has this fight, if they want to take it fast, is they have ultimates. Cuddle Puddle about to come up onto that Nano, and really nothing else here at the moment. Orbital Ray coming out from Sin here very early on. They want to try to win it out early here. They're going to be able to find Geo, but you see the rest of Cuddle Puddle just backing up. They find Executing out, and this is exactly what Solar-Eclipse was looking for right here. If they can find one more, there's that one more they're looking for. Everyone else who slowly either just die or start falling back.
Yeah, but the staggers weren't late enough if you're on the side of Solar-Eclipse. So for Cuddle Puddle, you're going to be able to have a chance to contest this cart one more time before it gets delivered. Revert's only going to have the barrage going up against Execute's Nano.
And right now, Revert's just hovering here over this choke point. Want to try to get a huge barrage, but I mean, you see Cuddle Puddle just kind of wary of it. Are they going to check their corners? No, they're not. It's a surprise attack, but it doesn't find anyone with it. That could have been a huge map-turning ultimate right there, but Hollander going to be able to clean up Chris. Reverts finds Geo now. This is the follow-up you're looking for if you're Solar-Eclipse. If you can get rid of Executing here, it adds so much to this fight, but you just see the turn there onto Hollander, but Anjoki going to be able to find them here. Brook, the only one left alive, but there's not much they can do here. Solar-Eclipse continues to push and eat away at that lead that Cuddle Puddle has.
They gave up the point very early on, being able to recontest it. That just the damage from the barrage, I didn't find any kills, but it got people low enough for cleanup duty, as now the cages are out.
Cages out from both sides right here. Cuddle Puddle decides to invest that Orbital Ray, and if you're Solar-Eclipse, you're looking for anything, but you're not gonna find anything there. Brook with two, and it's just a clean up now. Executing gonna be able to find Synarchy there, and they're back in control of the bot. Gonna be able to reset the spawns here, but Solar-Eclipse, they should get most of them back.
That's okay. Forward spawns available for now if you are Solar-Eclipse. I think you got enough distance to keep yourself in this series. Now he's got to make sure they get control of the neutral. They got to get Cuddle Puddle off of this high ground.
Well, Brooke kind of helping them out there by falling down. Executing not up there either. There's no one on the high ground right now for Cuddle Puddle. That might be a little bit of a mistake there. You do have Andoru, the only one up there. There's the blade out from Geo, but it's immediately responds to with the rally from the other side. It gets stunned out. Now the nano thrown out on them. Gonna be able to find Bert, and that's gonna be the only thing they find there. It's still a heavy fight going on the cart here at the moment. Cuddle Puddle gonna be able to force Solar-Eclipse away just long enough here. Andoru still holding on to the Death Blossom here. No cage to pair it with this time, but they're able to get those forward spawns back.
Yeah, with how close this is right now, and basically we're going to be back to a 5v5 again with the close spawns. This Death Blossom can be everything.
Brooke going to be able to find one early on. Bert not going to be able to escape that time around there. And this fight all but already over. 2.5 minutes still left on that clock here, but it looks like Cuddle Puddle going to be able to add on to their lead.
Yeah, absolutely devastating fight for the side of Solar-Eclipse. You're able to allow Cuddle Puddle to win that without any ult commitment whatsoever. They still have the Death Blossom. They still have the Orbital Ray. Things are looking up and up and up for the side of Cuddle Puddle.
Cage outway, you have your opportunity for that Death Blossom in there. Not going to be able to find anyone, but they don't know you do right there. The Orbital Rays coming out from both sides, but Cuddle Puddle going to be able to come out on top in the end. Now, just a couple clean up picks away here from for potentially completing this map.
There'll definitely be some touches coming in from the side of Solar, because what you lose, Hollander, you have a couple going on here, but it's looking rough waters. Geo cleaning up.
Geo with 2 already here. Brooke and Chris finding a couple more, and now Njoki. There's not much you can do there. Ray, we said it ourselves. Cuddle Puddle, we thought they could come back in this series, that there was going to be more maps. Well, they made sure of it. We're going to be sent to a map 4.
Yeah, this is the plan and execution I was expecting out of a team like Cuddle Puddle. To come to this map, they go, okay, Malgaban is out. Still tough to be, having to go on a reverse sweep. And we know from now on, all of the maps are going to be picked by the side of Solar-Eclipse. So that's one thing they're going to have in their favor going forward. So they had to win this map. They look good with the Malga. Now here's Solar-Eclipse. Literally, you just take him to a map where you can play dive. I think that's all. I'd literally be going, let's see what. First map was Ilios, and then we went to, what was second map? Flashpoint. Yeah, you literally have Escort and Hybrid, the 2 best dive maps left. Like, this is really good for Solar-Eclipse.
Well, knowing what this Solar-Eclipse team likes to pick from time to time, I would not be surprised if we see a Blizzard World come out. That also could bring in Locos coming back out on her signature Mercy. But I mean, yeah, you leave dive here very, very wide open, but you also make sure that Cuddle Puddle could ban out the Winston here, and that's something that we've kind of been talking about that's been needing to happen here.
If I'm Cuddle Puddle, I know that these next 2 maps we're going to be dive maps. They've been saving them. They haven't used them yet. I banned 1 map Winston, next map Ana. You got to get those 2 heroes off of the board, because it's going to severely, when you ban Winston, they can't play Winston. And then if you get the Ana, it makes playing Winston so much less desirable.
It really does, but they could be doing something like what we've already kind of brought up, what Nightmare did with Team Liquid, not banning out the Malga until map 5 here. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different situation here, but Cuddle Puddle, they're probably that team that feels very confident in themselves after winning that 3rd map right there, that they're going to be able to keep that ban safe for map 5.
That's the other thing you have to be wary of and keep in mind, is the ability for the protection bans coming out from the side of Solar-Eclipse. So they can be like, hey, we're just going to ban Wrecking Ball, so you can't ban our Winston or something, you know what I mean? So, or we're going to ban Kiri, so you can't ban our Ana or whatever. So I think, everything's up in the air, and I'm very excited to see where the series goes from here.
Well, we do know where our 4th map of the night will be. We're going to be heading to Blizzard World for this one. And this is normally a map where we see a couple subs come out or come in for Solar-Eclipse, but I feel like there's going to be a big question mark with those subs this time around when it comes down to what our bans are going to be. Looks like Solar-Eclipse will get the first ban here, and Ray, there's a good chance they make sure they have a protection ban in here.
Given we've always seen them play Njoki on this map, this is Njoki's map, and they've always played Winston, I would probably look to ban a tank and protect, a tank being banned here. I'd protect Winston. I ban whoever you got to ban, but you protect Winston is my thing.
Yeah, I think that's the move here. What tank it will be though, I mean, as long as it's any other tank other than the Winston, and you're fine. So ban the Roadhog, ban the Doomfist, ban's just something you would not expect to see here. The Wrecking Ball.
Hey, I mean, I said as I just banned Wrecking Ball. Yeah, so we're gonna be able to see Winston coming out. The question is, if you're Cuddle Puddle, I'd be looking to ban Ana, man. Like, I'd be like, okay, well, you can have your Winston, but we're going to heavily cripple it by getting rid of the Ana. That's what I'd be looking at, but not exactly sure what are in the thoughts in the heads of Cuddle Puddle at this moment in time.
I mean, I have to agree with you there. I think the Ana ban would be the correct ban here for Cuddle Puddle. We've been able to see what Sonarchy has been able to do all series long, or as long as they've been on this Ana. The Anti-Nates have been huge, the Nanas have been almost perfectly, but no, banning out the Ashe here. That is a hero we have seen on this map from Solar-Eclipse in the past. So, I mean, I guess it does work.
I don't know, man. Reverts is just so good at that Sojourn. It's just, Reverts like, literally Reverts is just like, all right, I'll just play Sojourn then. Like, is that what you want? Like, I feel like it really didn't matter. I feel like the Ana ban would have been so much better in this case, and we'll see, but my worry is that's going to bite Cuddle Puddle in the butt.
It might. And honestly, yeah. I mean, we saw the Soj ban come in their last map, and you kind of saw how that crippled Reverts there for the most part. They just weren't able to do what they all want to do here. But hey, much like what we saw in the semifinal game against Lunar Eclipse, Locos is coming in this time around. And Ray, you have to remember, they're a Mercy main through and through. They might swap off if the situation arises, but it's going to take a lot of convincing to get her off that character.
Yeah, Solar-Eclipse knows how to make it work, so no surprises here, as they love to get Loco in when they can, and Blizzard World is one of those maps. That's why they tend to pick it a lot. As once again, pressure is all on the backs of Cuddle Puddle right now. Fail has to win 2 more maps, complete the reverse sweep in order to win this midseason championship. But once again, Solar-Eclipse, this is the 3rd map they've lost this season, I believe, so you never know.
And it looks like we're getting side swap this time as well. First time we're seeing that here tonight. Solar-Eclipse going to be attacking here first. Cuddle Puddle, defense first. And this is the first time we've seen the Hazard all night.
Ugh. Not a big fan of what they're playing with it. Like, Hazard's more of a dive-oriented composition. You're playing Sim Reaper, and then Zen Ana. This is making my head hurt a little bit. Like, I mean, it's a lot of damage, and you know, if you good anti-nades plus Discord orbs, it's a lot of disruption. But I don't know, man. So the Zen Ana is gonna be vulnerable to Anjoki on this Winston.
Nice wall there coming out from Brook, just to make sure that Reverts does not have a clear sightline onto anyone just yet. And it looks like they have decided to turn around and go swap off, probably back to that Soj.
Yeah, no surprises here. Gonna use the TP to get themselves off of the high ground. Anti-nade coming in. Not gonna do a whole lot, but force Anjoki not be able to pressure immediately.
There's a dive from Anjoki onto that backline. Another TP coming out right there, but oh, looks like Executing did not understand the situation right there, but Anjoki just diving straight into Chris. Chris gonna be able to take him out here, but Chris, with the pressure from Revert's, gonna be able to fall right back, but still, kills going back and forth here. This is exactly what we saw Solar-Eclipse and Lunar Eclipse do, just trade kills back and forth at the moment. Hollander will find Geo, but still no one really around for Solar-Eclipse to start taking that point.
Yeah, as they're playing the patient game. This is the thing with Cuddle Puddle, though, is they can't afford to play aggressively like this. I mean, Hazard, not the beefiest character, so you can't, just peek out and wait for your team.
50% on that point already here. Solar-Eclipse is going to back off for a brief moment here. Almost get up that two ticks right there, but Revert's now on this, just in the sky, going to be able to just be a little bit of a nuisance here to everyone on Cuddle Puddle. Hollander finds Executing out in the backline, and that never has led to a lot of success for Cuddle Puddle in the previous map, and it looks like it's not going to lead to much success this time around either. Hollander with 3, and Anjoki will find 1. Geo does get their 1, but it won't necessarily matter. There's Solar-Eclipse caps the first point.
Yeah, again, Solar-Eclipse played the patient game, was able to find those picks, and again, Reverse was unencumbered in the skies beside Geo, who was on the Sojourn, able to pick them off, but it was too late at that point. Now we're going to have him swap over to the Cassidy, so if you're Anjoki, you have to be worried of those flashbangs, and then a lot of damage that can be thrown onto Reverse via that Peacekeeper.
Yeah, I think this is the move that Geo needed to do here. The sim wasn't a good idea as long as you were coordinating all your TPs, but once that coordination kind of fell apart, you need to get off something there, and especially get onto something that reverts would struggle immensely. It's Nano being invested here onto Brook pretty early, but they're going to be put to sleep. However, reverts wakes them right back up and anti them almost immediately, so this Nano's going to actually kind of fade away because of it.
Yeah, not a lot of value out of that ultimate, and there's still, I mean, they will have the downpour, so that's one thing you have to be very careful about if you are the side of Solar-Eclipse, but you have a lot of ults.
Dive onto that backline right there, and Joki finds one. The Barrage is going to be able to find Brook, and this fight is already all but over. The only person left alive at the moment is Geo, but they're not in a good spot. Yep.
Yes, they're going to get sent back to the spawn room as well. Late stagger. Point rounding the final corner, so one good fight from Solar-Eclipse, and they're going to get the second point. And the only ult they have to worry about is the downpour when they got 3 of their ult, and first is the Valk that comes out.
Valk out there is the downpour right now. The only person that got caught up in it was Sinarki, but it looks like Brook did not notice that on the high ground. Anjoki will be the only one that dies right here. Locos, they have their opportunity to find a res here, but you have to be watching that. Pulse Bomb going to come out on the Geo, and that's going to keep Solar-Eclipse in this fight. Anjoki, though, no res coming out from Locos right there, and that should force a little bit of a fallback here from Solar-Eclipse for the moment.
Death Blossom still available for Endoru. It's going to come out. It's going to find one.
That was an aggressive Death Blossom right there. Revert's already firing 2. Now the Orbital Ray coming out from Chris. I feel like this is a little bit of a mistake here from Cuddle Puddle. Sinarki back into the fray here as Locos going to be able to res them back into it. And now the Deadeye, the only thing that Geo has, they're going to pop it almost immediately there and find no one. It's just a list of errors here, in my opinion, for Cuddle Puddle, but they're still keeping this contest alive. Brook just doing enough here, but the damage should eventually fall out in the end, and Solar-Eclipse should get the second point.
Yeah, and they're able to hold on to Reverse's Barrage. Plenty of time still on the clock, just under 4 minutes, as we now see Brook making a swap off of the Hazard over to the Mauga, which I think on this third point where it's a little bit more brawly, I mean, yeah, there's some high ground available to work with, but this Mauga is going to be very potent on this third point.
Yeah, I like this swap here, and they need something just to kind of slow down this cart here for Solar-Eclipse, at least eat away at the time bank a little bit. But again, Hollander, their pulse bombs this map have been good, and Joki has to immediately back up. They're very low on health. Loco, Sinarki trying to do whatever they can here to make sure they have their Winston, but the pulse bomb almost looking primed and ready. It's gonna get thrown, gets stuck onto Chris. The Barrage out as well, finds 2 more. Hollander, the DPS line for Solar-Eclipse coming alive, getting all 5 kills.
Absolutely insane, and you held onto the Valk, so you're going to have some sustain to deal with this Nano onto whoever, but one fight away from capping all 3 points on Blizzard World.
Brook put to sleep and anteed up right there, and they're going to be just able to keep themselves alive, and Joki will be the first one to fall here. And if you're Solar-Eclipse, you should just try to back up, but no, you pop the Valk and actually get Joki back into the fray here. A huge anti-nade coming out there from Sinarki, finds 3, but there's no picks coming from it just yet. You're down your Mercy at the moment, so you kind of have to play safe, but you lose Joki yet again here. So this should be the fallback from Solar-Eclipse, especially with Reverts dying.
Yeah, it's actually pretty big though, because you forced the Nano in a fight where you were already down players, so I think you'll take that every day if you are the side of Solar-Eclipse. One thing you have to be worried about is this Orbital Ray from Chris. I mean, you don't have, like the Valk who could, try and heal through it. 2 minutes, still plenty of time though, as, maybe you look to dry fight here. I mean, both their DPS ultimates are coming up once again, so maybe they look to just win with those again.
I mean, they've done that in the past, and we already saw it once this point, so why not do it again? But you have to deal with a lot of the ultimates from Cuddle Puddle. I mean, they only invested that Nano into the last fight. They're about to have Orb of their own here. There's the Orbital Ray from Chris. And Rebirth pops their Barrage, gonna be able to find one for Brooks, takes them right back out. Now the cage is out. Chris gonna barely be able to keep themselves alive, but Executing and Locos both fall. Their Primal Rage coming out from Joki to keep this contest and push going here at the moment. But Brook just gonna be running away from the monkey that's able to throw some hands, and this should just be another fallback here for Solar-Eclipse, especially with Hollander falling.
Yeah, and that's not the best. We do see Reverts who's going to go over to the Soldier now, so no more Pharah. I think that's smart. This third point's not so great for that Pharah. You will have a Nano and a Pulse to work with, but High Noon and Death Blossom could be all you need to wrap this up, but still, 2 more fights at it for Solar-Eclipse to try and get this point across.
And you see Andoru, they're looking for that Death Blossom opportunity right here, but with Anjoki diving on that high ground, they're really not going to find a good opportunity at it for the moment. There's the Nano, though. Chris could be the first one to fall. Anjoki, though, has to play safe, and now you see the Death Blossom come out. Pulse Ball from Hollander, going to be able to find one. The Death Blossom, though, didn't find anything. Andoru, though, going to be able to find Locos, and now each team is going back and forth with picks here. If you're Solar-Eclipse, I mean, you might be looking to kind of reset here for one last quick engagement.
Yeah, I agree. No ults across the board for anybody. You are getting, you're not really getting any, maybe Executing gets this Nano, but if their Synarchy's down, things are looking up for Cuddle Puddle.
I mean, Locos could try to use a res onto them. They were in a safe spot right there, and that's exactly what they do. Valkyrie now ready for them here. Will it be the difference for Solar-Eclipse in this fight? You see Anjoki dive there into that backline. Brooke can be put to sleep, but no one touches the card again!
Very unfortunate sleep there. I mean, to me, that wasn't as egregious as the one on Suravasa, man. That one, the attempt was there, but that was just a really good sleep, so.
Yeah.
Can't really fault Solar-Eclipse there. But we have the win condition set for both of these teams. I think the distance that Solar-Eclipse was able to get on the third point, because, I always have this theory where if you can't at least get it rounding the final corner on third point, you didn't get enough distance if the team's able to cap second point, because second point can be such a hard point to cap, but third point, it's not that hard to round the final corner. So if you don't get to at least there, if the other team caps second, it's not enough for me. But Solar-Eclipse did get it to where they give themselves a chance, but this is their map, man. They've been so good. I mean, I believe they held Lunar Eclipse first point last time around. So if I'm Cuddle Puddle, despite the fact that we could send this to him at 5, you cannot relax.
Yeah, Solar-Eclipse did hold Lunar Eclipse on the first point here for a very, very long time, and I believe, like you said, it was a full hold. There were points right there where we thought Lunar Eclipse had it in the bag, but Solar-Eclipse, I mean, they just staggered it out long enough and found the picks there. But Cuddle Puddle, I mean, you have to feel very confident about that. You have a win condition here now. You have a win condition, and I mean, all you have to do is just kind of get through this first point with, I think, a decent time bank, and you should be able to make it through the second point.
Look at Reverts absolutely going sicko with 11.5k damage already in this. That is ridiculous.
That's more damage than the other DPS line combined for Cuddle Puddle here, but I mean, just being able to keep that fight alive there for Cuddle Puddle was the main part there, and it looks like Cuddle Puddle not going to be able to keep this fight alive very long here. The Sim coming back out here for Geo again. It's an interesting play, not going to work out the first time, and Reverts, I believe that was already 3 picks in that first engagement.
Yeah, I get trying to, throw the team, for a loop. Sometimes that Sim TP, you're not expecting, especially on the attack. But you already saw it on the defense. I'm surprised they're pulling it out again. Solar-Eclipse was definitely ready for it and was able to clean up pretty quickly. But they did let their supports go down pretty early. So, maybe they try this again and make sure, they add a little bit more protection for their supports.
I mean, that's been a problem for Cuddle Puddle this entire series. Solar-Eclipse has always been able to find their supports first. And
great nade.
What a nade there. Had to yell Kobe as they threw it. Geo taken out early, and that's your TP dispenser basically down. And, I mean, you kind of see Cuddle Puddle. They're now just stalling, waiting for Geo to come back.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really push without that Sim. With the way they're playing, you need those TPs to be able to engage in and out of these fights. And it looks like Hollander's going to go look to camp a little bit.
I don't blame him. I mean, if you are that Tracer player, yeah, be harassing that backline is what you really should be doing. Reverse, so going to be able to find Brooke. Geo does find one, but I don't know how much more Cuddle Puddle is going to find in this engagement. And Ray, half that time bank is now gone.
Cybernetics regulating.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you did get the overclock out of Reverts. I mean, at this point, I guess if you're Cuddle Puddle, you're just kind of playing for these ults. Like, you got the... okay, now we see the ult swap, the comp swap coming in. Brooke now on the Winston. Geo and Doru going to the Genji Tracer. This is more like it. But it does reset all their ult charts, so they have to rely heavily on the Orbital Ray Kitsune Rush coming online soon.
They have to just find an early pick here, in my opinion, just to kind of give them a little bit of a slight advantage. And Hollander, though, they have this pulse bomb ready to go, looking for another stick this time around. Will find the stick, but sadly on the inside of the bubble that Brooke put down there. Locos now popping her Valkyrie. She's going to try to support her team throughout this quick engagement. Consuming Rush out from Executing. They need this to go their way. Orbital Ray out as well. You can see how badly Cuddle Puddle wants this fight. They find Rebirths out early, but Primal Rage from Anjoki. You got to be able to sustain or just stall at this point a little bit longer. Geo and Doru, there's the picks you're looking for right there. Locos taken out, and Anjoki the only one left alive. It should be Cuddle Puddle capping this point.
Oh, very unfortunate. Synergy dies with the nano. I thought they were going to be able to get that in and add that extra sustain, but they were not. They're able to cap it with a minute left on the clock. The only issue I feel is that a sufficient time bank for the second point? Because we saw how long it took Solar-Eclipse to be able to do it, and they had like a massive time bank.
And Rebirth finds Execute out here early on. Chris could be the next one to fall, and this is just going to force Cuddle Puddle to fall straight back here now. But I mean, you're at the early part of this push, so you're really not losing that much.
We still have that nano to play with, as now these tanks and DPS are coming up on their ultimates for Cuddle Puddle. And Doru's been pretty good on this chase, especially with the pulse bombs, so Solar-Eclipse got to keep an eye out on that.
And still, each team, Cuddle Puddle's playing this a little bit too slow for my liking here. If they played a little bit faster, I think they would, you know, at least catch Solar-Eclipse off guard. But you know, what do I know? They find Synarchy out here early on, but Rebirths and Hollander come right back with 2 picks almost immediately there. Suzu invested there by Executed, try to keep Brooke alive, but it's only going to end up with them falling by the hands of Anjoki, and Brooke just going to escape with their life here.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, now that you know what you're working with, Solar-Eclipse, you know, the automatic swap to the Winston and then the both some support ults coming in. But we know when it's been a Winston v Winston, Solar-Eclipse has been winning that battle, so this is playing right into what they want.
And right now, a minute and a half of that time bank they had going on the second point push is gone. They barely only added on any meterage here. The dive out there on that high ground from Brooke. Now Anjoki nanoed up here. Chris could be the first one to fall. Geo trying to run away, but Brooke pops up Primal Rage in the backline, finding one, trying to find a second one here, but it should be very difficult to do that considering the players that are live. Rebirths finds their second railgun headshot kill of this fight already here, and you see Brooke just running back towards their spawn, but it's gonna be who else but Rebirths finding the final kill.
I think the one good thing you take away from that fight is both the support ults were used, and Cuddle Puddle's coming up on the Orbital Ray and that Kitsune Rush, and Geo can still throw in a blade. So I think with the only thing that you have to make sure you limit is Reverts with this overclock once again.
Minutes left on the clock here, and like you said, Revert's overclock has been scary no matter what map it is, what time it is in the series. Revert's already finding one with the railgun right there onto Andoru. The orbital ray coming out here from Chris and Cuddle Puddle. They desperately need something to go their way now. Blade out, but Geo gets antied immediately, and Revert's again. The railguns are hitting at all costs here. That might be the first miss of this map right there on to Chris, but they will be able to follow up onto Executing, and you already see Cuddle Puddle backing up yet again, and Reverts again a deadeye with these railguns.
That's devastating. I talked about how they needed to make sure they limited the overclock to use these ults. They used the 3 ults and they didn't even get overclock out and still lost the fight. That is something that just can't happen. Cuddle Puddle, last chance to try and win this map.
Oh. Last chance and already starting it off. One person down here. Synarchy again with another cross map nade. Gonna be able to find Endor out early. Geo, the next one to fall. And now you're starting to see swaps come out from Cuddle Puddle just to get touched. Here comes the overclock from Rebirth. They are scary with or without it. It doesn't matter. And Joki finds Brooke, and that will do it. Solar-Eclipse still gonna be your kings here of the Diamond Tier. Your mid-season champions.
Once again, just impressive across the board. They came through with the goods when they needed to. In these Winston compositions, man, they're just so deadly with them.
So deadly. Everyone on this team is just very, very scary to go up into. And Joki looked great on the win tonight. Cloudleman looked great as well. But this DPS line is definitely one that everyone has to know here. No matter what. One could be having an off map, but the other one will be right there picking up the slack. But when they're both firing on all cylinders, man, this is a team that looks almost unstoppable.
Couldn't agree with you more. And they've been able to manage a roster with so much moving pieces. Like, it's not like they're always using the same 5. Like, okay, Anjoki comes in, and then, Sinner Key comes in, Loco comes in. So they've been able to do a lot with a lot of flexibility, and they really make it work when it counts.
Yeah, I mean, Locos, we've always seen her come in on Blizzard World there, but she's always done a great job playing the Mercy there. I know I've I've jokingly kind of doubted her in the past, but the Mercy was great there this time around. Snarky, again, we cannot talk about how good they were on the Ana all series long. It's surprised we didn't see the Ana ban at all. You even kind of talked about it here or there, just kind of slowing down the Winston, maybe forcing them to play something else, but no, instead they went with the Ashe there instead. We did see that a little bit from, I believe, Reverts in the semifinals, so maybe that's why we saw that ban come out there on that final map. But again, Solar-Eclipse, I mean, picking up right where they left off at the end of last season, just kind of dominating so far in the early and now in the mid-season.
Congratulations to Solar-Eclipse. 3-1 victory in the mid-season grand finals gets that extra match victory in your favor. We are going to take a quick break as we're going to set up for an interview with 2 players from the winning team, Hollander and Njoki. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are pleased to be joined by two members of Solar-Eclipse, your mid-season Diamond Tier champions. They are Anjoki and Hollander. Y'all, congratulations on the victory here tonight. You guys still reign supreme over this tier now for, I believe this is the third tournament in a row, at least counting mid-season. I mean, I imagine you guys know you have a giant target on your back here. Does that kind of raise the stakes for every game you guys play in?
Thank you first for saying all that. But I think we are a pretty humble team, all things considered. Like, we've got, I think Vert said something like 32, 33 game win streak. But honestly, we go into game, like, every single game knowing possibility that we could lose. And, like, every member on the team is doing whatever they can do to prepare and get better. I mean, just giving a glimpse of what it takes, and just like a pat on the back for everybody on our team. Like, people are voting for hours on end themselves, the teams we play against. All our bans are thought out probably like 2 hours to every ban. Like, we're really discussing, thinking about these things. So a lot that goes into each win, and we do that for every game, and we're never going to take a break. So that's how it goes.
I don't know if I should respond, but I mean, I don't know. I to be honest, that's kind of news to me. None of y'all said to me that we had like a reverse Shanghai Dragons like record, but yeah, it's a little funny. I mean, I don't know if okay. I was. I'll be honest. Like, joining in, I was told that this team was very, very good. And they just wanted like a sub tank. Like, I think because of me like dropping a map and putting us into 4th seed, it like during the main season, it it kind of reverses what people thought. Like, people thought we were washed like GG because 3 other people were like never dropped a map. But I mean, winning this, it does feel kind of nice. But yeah.
Sweet. So, because let's go there. You guys dropped a map. You know, East Bronson did not go your guys' way. Kind of got ran over by the enemy Mauga comp. You know, is that kind of what you guys are expecting? And then how did your guys' mindset change to be able to come into your favorite Blizzard world and absolutely dominate?
Oh, I want to answer.
I can take this one. We definitely knew the Mauga comp was coming after their ban. And we also figured that's what they wanted to lean into and play, as they found success on that on earlier games and then against us in some aspects. So we knew they're coming with the Mauga. We felt pretty comfortable because our comp on Esperanto was pretty good. But then again, with the Sojourn ban, it really gave us a hard time even doing anything against the Mauga. And then late swaps coming in, I was having a difficult time finding value on the Tracer. So drop a map there, sometimes it'll happen, but I think the best part about our team is that, like, we drop a map, we're not going to lose focus, and the next one, you know, we're going to come back even harder, and there's a 100% win rate.
Sweet. And then, you know, I just want to give huge shout outs at Blizzard World. Loco always coming in to play that Mercy. What's it like having them on the roster, and how is it knowing, like, teams know you're going to bring her in and they're going to play Mercy and you guys still dominate?
Well,
Jokey, any thoughts?
Bro, okay, I'll be honest. All I'm saying is, okay, yes, we run the monkey, yes, we have an Ashe, but it's like, I feel like people never pay attention to these dang supports, bro. Because it's like, bro, I'm pretty sure if we don't have the Mercy, it changes the comp of how we play it. It's like, bro, the fact that we didn't get target banned there, it just put me into awe slightly, I gotta be honest. Like, so we were deliberating between if we wanted to have the monkey band or if we wanted to have the Mercy band. And it was like, thankfully neither of them happened, and they ended up banning Dash. It felt
I think legitimately we were talking about before the map, we're like, we figured you guys were going to ban the Winston, but we were like, dude, you got to ban the Ana, or, you know, knowing that there's a Mercy, ban the Mercy. You got to ban one of those two. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's really untold, like, how much impact Locos and Sonarchy both have on that map. I mean, and obviously we could rotate and switch to other things if those were banned, but I mean, the enabling that Locos is able to do for both me on Tracer and especially Reverts on the Ashe or even Sojourn, she just enables us to pop off and go crazy. And what else do you need?
Yeah. What else do you guys really need here? But hey, looking forward now to the back half of the season here and the end of season playoffs here. You guys are probably going in as the favorites here. Who do you guys look at as other tough opponents that you guys are going to expect to see down the road?
I'll say a quick piece, and if Fandroki has anything, definitely Lunar, our sister team. It was the same score, it was 3-1, but they're a good team, and we respect them a lot. So props to them. They're always going to be a tough opponent when we come in. We also never got to play Death Blossoms, which we were excited to play, but Cuddle with the upset, so good on them. But yeah, we're excited for Death Blossom and a rematch of Lunar in the finals.
Bro, all I'm saying is like, okay, we some of us were making the parallel between like the League of Legends T1 team, like how they kind of just like twiddled their thumbs during the main season, but like during the tournaments they actually like locked the fuck in. Like, bro, I'm pretty sure Cuddle is a little like that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Wait, can I swear?
No.
I'm assuming no.
Try to keep it to a minimum.
That's on me. But okay, it's like I can only imagine they're like in the hyperbolic time chamber. I'm gonna assume like next, by the time we play them again, it's gonna be like Masters 3 average team.
All right.
We're looking forward.
All right. Check.
All right. Yeah. So, hey, guys, thank you so much for taking some time here tonight to do this interview. But before we let you guys go, we will give you guys the floor to shout out anyone or anything you guys would like.
I appreciate the time. Shout out definitely to just the entire team. Always putting in the work. Cloud definitely VODs a lot. He VODs other teams, VODs us. We also have some coaches that help VOD us. Shout out to Slime, Goliathan. They both have done individuals and team. So they've helped us out a lot. And then I would say Vert holds us all together. Keeps us all cohesive and one unit. So
Yeah. I think, bro, I don't know. Shout out the team. It's very fun screaming, even if we are screaming hard people or in hard matches. It's still a little funny. Hanging around with them. Also, in the same vein, shout out Eve. He's also been a person who's been popping in once in a while. All of them are from Texas A&M University San Antonio. So I like shout out to that school. Be sure to be on the lookout if you're interested in the NACE collegiate competition. They are in the Premier League, so you know. Tune in.
Yeah, I'm actually a San Antonio native. I'm very
actually
well
my god.
UTSA.
Well, I mean, I forget if UTSA has a team, but
They actually have one competing. They won the Masters. They won the GM
Big?
tournament last
Yeah,
night.
big. It ain't easy. I'm glad to hear. Shout out to them.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much again, everyone. That was Hollander and Anjoki, your victors from Solar-Eclipse here of the mid-season tournament. Guys, thank you so much, and go enjoy the rest of your night.
thank you, you too.
Thank you.
All right, Ray. It was an incredible series here between Lunar Eclipse and Cuddle Puddle, but Lunar Eclipse coming out on top yet again here. Kind of like what we kind of expected a little bit. This is the team that has been dominating the Diamond tier for the better part of almost a year at this point, and someone's going to have to take them down at some point, but that some point might be far, far away.
Yeah, we have a whole back half of the season plus, playoffs to really get things going. And who knows what the meta is going to be. We've already heard mid-season changes coming in to change up some of the perks. So we're going to have to see how that all goes by the time the end of the season happens. But with that, that's going to pretty much do it for the mid-season. This was the last one, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. So thank you everyone who's been tuning in and watching. Congratulations, Solar-Eclipse 3-1, your Diamond Mid-Seed champions. Thank you, Dex, for joining me in on the broadcast. And for all of our prod, this prod specifically was Rhino, ReachNat, and Mara, who absolutely do everything we need to behind the scenes to be able to give you guys these amazing broadcasts. And we will see you guys in regular season week number 5.
straight new age. Name straight new wave.